I'm vengeance. I'm Batman. Yes, we know that. I'm Batman. Alright, enough. All of us are Batman. But instead of saving the city during dark nights, this Dark Knight stays in his dark room and protects the house.
I'm Batman. I live in the shadows.
Anyway, Batman's the best superhero of all time, and the Arkham game series that came with him wasn't something we needed, but deserved. But is this series the best ever?
It was perfect. Perfect.
Stay till the end to find that out. Arkham Asylum. So, the superhero games before 2007 were, subpar. No disrespect to the developers, but it is what it is. There was no story, no proper combat, and nothing of the sort you see in games nowadays. But with the release of Arkham Asylum, everything changed, and no one expected a force like the Arkham series to emerge and take the world by storm. Back in 2007, Idle Interactive saw some slick prototypes from Rocksteady Studios, a British game developer, and pitched a game with epic combat and sneaky stealth action, basically making you feel like you're Batman himself. Idle was so impressed by the prototypes, they handed over the Batman game to Rocksteady. Now, where does Batman feel most at home? In the streets of Gotham fighting villains. And no wonder he got a goth girl with him too. So Rocksteady literally put him in an asylum. But not just any asylum. To give proper essence to the character, Arkham Asylum's designs resembled a mansion or a standard prison. The studio chose an island set up with various buildings, which was inspired by the Alcatraz prison. They infused each structure with distinct styles of Gothic architecture from different periods. This approach aimed to impart a historical ambiance while navigating the asylum. Next, the game's look needed to be just right. They wanted it dark, but not too depressing. To avoid this, they added different colors to keep things interesting and played around with lighting to make sure players didn't get too comfy in Batman's gloomy world and base their personalities entirely on it. I wouldn't say this worked, as I still find people who seemingly like to enjoy the dark try to be cool and act all depressed. Me. Another problem was deciding from a wide range of villains to include in the game. They had to say, "Get out of here" to Mr. Freeze and Mad Hatter, because they just didn't fit the mood. Then, Paul Dini, the legend behind Batman the Animated Series and co-creator of Harley Quinn, was also the one given the responsibility of creating an original story for the Batman game. But this was not all, as the combat system was another beast to be dealt with. Originally, it was going to be like a rhythm game with time prompts, but that idea got axed for something more fluid and, well, Batman-ish. Sefton Hill from Rocksteady admitted in an interview that perfecting the combat style was hectic, but was totally worth it. Now, when Batman Arkham Asylum was teased in 2008, gamers were intrigued but not hyped. It was like just another superhero game, but oh boy, did it surprise everyone. Launched in 2009, the game smashed expectations and made everyone rethink superhero games. It sold like hot dogs, and the critics were all over it, calling it the one to beat. And just when fans were losing their minds over how good it was, Rocksteady had a little secret up their sleeve. They'd been planning a sequel all along, which was hidden in a secret room in the game filled with teasers for Arkham City. Arkham City. Batman Arkham City was like a superhero party, and everyone was invited. Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill were back as Batman and Joker. Paul Dini was writing the story again, and Sefton Hill was in the director's chair, promising another wild ride in Gotham. Now, sequels have to go big or go home, and Arkham City was no exception. Batman was hitting the street, meeting more villains, playing with new gadgets, and exploring a bigger world. But let's be real, everyone just wanted to drive the Batmobile. However, Rocksteady was like, nope, this ain't a driving game. Arkham City was announced in August 2010, with a release date set for fall 2011, the hype train left the station. With a marketing budget of over $10 million, they didn't just sell Batman as a superhero, they sold him as the action hero everyone needed. On October 18, 2011, Arkham City hit the shelves, and as expected, it received universal praise. The game had better combat, stunning graphics, and a story that made fans and critics lose it. It snatched the most critically acclaimed superhero game ever title from its prequel, Arkham Asylum. And the awards? They just kept coming. From writing to voice acting, not to mention the killer score and character design that came with all of this. But hey, no game's perfect. Some Xbox 360 players lost their save files to the digital abyss, and PC gamers had a bit of a DirectX issue. Even though complaints were launched, the devs decided to work on DLCs instead of fixing these recurring problems, and it met with widespread criticism for this. Anyway, remember the secret room for Arkham Asylum that told fans about a sequel? Fans found Arkham City's secret faster than your ex moving on. This time, it was a mysterious boat with a code that led to a thug and a bunch of creepy crawlies. Scarecrow's weird insect party left everyone scratching their heads, but the answers were on hold because the Arkham series was about to flip the script. Arkham Origins. So, Rocksteady had this idea for the next Batman game, but it was going to take a ton of time to make it perfect. They didn't want Batman fans twiddling their thumbs, so they brought in WB Montreal to make a spin-off called Arkham Origins. WB Montreal wasn't new to the Batman world as they had a go at Arkham City and learned a thing or two from back then. They decided to throw it back to Batman's younger days, showing us a less polished, more what am I doing kind of Batman. It was a chance to see him and future pal Jim Gordon in their awkward early friendship. Now, with Arkham Origins, there were new faces everywhere. Roger Craig Smith was the fresh voice of Batman, and Troy Baker brought a younger Joker to life. The music got a new beat with Christopher Drake, and a different crew took over the story. Paul Dini, the brain behind the earlier game stories, was out doing… no one knows what he was doing. But when Origins hit the stores in 2013, it kind of tripped over its cape. Fans and critics were like, it's alright, and didn't really get the vibe of the too big kinda empty Gotham or the meh multiplayer mode. And there were numerous issues with the game, including lots of bugs and errors that caused frequent crashes, much to the frustration of players. So, WB Montreal, feeling a bit cornered, decided to stop fixing the game and focus on new stuff, which didn't exactly win them any popularity contests. Fast forward a bit, and everyone's looking at Rocksteady to save the day again. They were already deep into making the magnum opus of the Arkham series and planned to go out with their best work ever. Sefton Hill was back directing, Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill were doing their iconic Batman and Joker thing, and Nick Arundel was laying down the tunes, this time with David Buckley. But Paul Dini was still out of the picture, leaving the story in the hands of Martin Lancaster and Sefton Hill. Arkham Knight. Rocksteady's long-awaited reveal of Batman Arkham Knight in 2014 had fans leaping off their couches in excitement. Promising a game larger and more immersive than its predecessors, the buzz was all about stepping into Batman's boots in a way never seen before. This time, the Batmobile wasn't just a shiny extra, it was a core part of the action, something players had been yearning for since the Arkham series kicked off. The journey to launch day was a bit like navigating the twists and turns of Gotham's dark alleys. Initially slated for a 2014 release, the game's arrival was postponed to mid-2015, giving the team extra time to polish and perfect the experience. During this time, trailers dropped that flaunted the high-octane action, breathtaking visuals, and the Batmobile's power. When June 23, 2015 rolled around, Batman Arkham Knight landed with a blast. Critics highly praised the game for its captivating story, improved gameplay, and how the Batmobile added a new element to the gaming experience. The recreation of Gotham City was a visual treat, intricately detailed and alive with the essence of the Dark Knight's world. However, not all was smooth in Gotham, particularly for PC gamers as its release faced a barrage of performance issues, spoiling the game's reception and leading to temporary removal from stores until fixes were deployed. Yet despite these hitches, Arkham Knight soared in sales, capturing the hearts of gamers worldwide and marking its territory as a standout release. Players, after years of battling through Arkham's madness, got to end their vigilante career on a high note. They had explored every nook and cranny of Gotham, faced down the biggest and baddest villains, and driven the coolest car in the superhero world. Now, most of you might be thinking that the Spider-Man series has the best superhero games ever made, but I hate to break it to you, they don't. Despite the stunning visuals and mechanics, the game falls short when it comes to storyline and storytelling. All you could do is swing around like a headless freak and fight bad guys. The combat's inspired by the Arkham series, and as mentioned before, the storyline is where Batman takes the cake. Rocksteady didn't just let us play as Batman, they let us live as the Dark Knight, creating memories in Gotham that would last a lifetime. As the final credits rolled on Arkham Knight, fans knew they'd been part of something special, a gaming experience that was as legendary as Batman himself. After thorough consideration, it could be easily said that the Batman Arkham series has the greatest superhero games ever made. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this.
I never said thank you.